think one of the numbers that jumps out from this game is the points in the paint. TCU winning that 34-10, and a lot of those fairly easy baskets, again, that dribble penetration that we talked about on the pregame show.
Yeah, they're very good and determined to drive, and they're pretty good at drawing the foul. So we knew that coming in. It's that year. It's that year where the advantage goes to the guy with the ball, and if you drive it and even initiate the contact, you quite often get the call.
Yeah, and I thought, obviously, 5.8 seconds left after the free throws by Kean Anderson. Your goal was to get somebody to the rim, and you got that with Devontae, and he tried to create enough contact to get a foul, but it didn't happen that time.
Right, exactly. We did exactly what you just said. Tried to attack in the open court when the defense was not set, and to get it to a guy that can drive and make free throws, and that's, we'd do the same thing again the next 10 times if we could, but unfortunately, he did not have a foul called in his favor, so he missed a shot, and game over.
Emmerich Fields, who had not played in a year because he had a knee injury and was out for the entire year. TCU thought he would make his season debut today and maybe play a few minutes. He ends up playing 26 very impactful minutes, and he was huge in this game for them. 7 of 9 shooting and added 7 rebounds, and just really gave them a boost.
He did. He gave them a whole different dimension than what we've seen on video. You know, basketball, you got 5 guys on the floor. It's a little different than a lot of sports, and one guy can make a huge impact, and he sure did today. He was very impressive.
It looked like when Devontae hit the back-to-back threes after an Ike three to give the Cougs a 45-44 lead, looked like you had the momentum and things were turned in this basketball game. But I guess you got to give TCU credit. They managed to keep getting a couple baskets to keep the pressure on Washington State.
Yeah, they really did. They responded. Once we took that lead by 1, they responded well, and they ended up, again, scoring buckets and getting to the free throw line. And got to give them credit for that.
All right, disappointing setback for the Cougs is now you have to take a long trip and sit on this one for a while, but opportunity to bounce back on Thursday on Thanksgiving against Butler at Old Spice Classic.
Yeah, that's what we're looking to do. You know, it's a process like you and I talked about in the pregame. We've got a number of young guys out there at certain times, and it's about getting better. And that's hopefully what we will be able to do down there in the Old Spice tournament.
Okay, Ken. Safe travels and play well in Orlando.
All right, thanks.
Back to question.
You've made rebounding such a point of emphasis this year. Could you assess the team's performance in that regard?
Yeah, first 2 games we were outstanding, and last 2 games we were not as good. I think the effort's there. I think our guys are working hard, trying to rebound, but it's an area of concern because of our size and at times lack of quickness.
What can you do to mitigate that?
We keep working on it. We work on it every single day. We watch video, and it's too late to go recruit more players. So we take the guys that we have in the program and try to continue to educate them and motivate them to do a great job of rebounding. And I think their effort's there. I think their effort has been really good rebounding-wise, but sometimes it's just like you can go out and try as hard as you want. The other team's a little bigger and a little quicker. It's a tough situation.
You talk about size with Jordan Rayleigh starting the game, played only 6 minutes. What was the decision behind that, just keeping his time limited?
Their quickness, I thought, was hurting us. And he's not real quick, so we went with Junior and DJ and tried to give Josh a try because they went zone, and Josh is a good mid-range shooter. But unfortunately, I think the 2 shots he took, he missed.
I wanted to ask, when there was, when you guys were down 61-59, you guys had the timeout, you brought in 4 players who could shoot from the 3. You had DJ, Royce, Dexter, and Lacey, and then Longris was in as well. I wanted to ask, was he going to be used as a screener, or what was his role there for the final shot?
Junior?
Yeah.
His role was, first of all, to be in there for rebounding on the free throw. And then that was the only reason. That was it. He's one of our best. He's one of our best at just screening out. Just, you ask Junior to do something, just like the play we drew up in the timeout, we're gonna do this, we're gonna set a flare screen. You just totally trust him that he's gonna execute that play exactly how you want. So he set a great screen and Devontae hits a three.
I remember moments before that I was telling everyone how much you want to bet Devontae's going to take this shot. How nice is that knowing you have a guy who kind of embraces those clutch moments in a game?
Well, it's great, he does, you're right. He wants to take the big shot, he's good at it. And I sure wish I would have seen where he had a chance to shoot a shot at the end or shoot a couple free throws. That would have been nice. I think he would have been successful.
You and Trent Johnson were in the Pac-12 at the same time. Do you have a relationship with him?
Yeah, we both grew up in Seattle, and he was at Franklin High School when I was at Sharkrest. So that goes back a few years.
You guys have a chance to catch up at all?
Now, we talked for a few minutes before the game and up here in the tunnel, but that's about it.
Ken, how would you describe your defense first half, and then in the second half, I thought it stepped up quite a bit?
I thought our defense was better the second half, but they still were able to break us down off the dribble. Their ability to drive and us not being able to keep them in front of us hurt us. But I thought it hurt us more the first half than the second half.
That TCU zone you mentioned, that was a 2-3 zone, right?
Right.
So people have been trying to figure that out against Syracuse for the last 30 years. What is the key to beating the 2-3 zone?
Well, first and foremost, usually it's make shots from the perimeter. But you do need to get the ball inside too, in playing an inside-out game. We try to do both. We also try to screen the zone to attack off the screen. But what helps Syracuse is they've got a number of pros in their lineup who are tall and long and athletic. And that makes that zone really, really good.
Coach, looked like you stuck with blitz in the pick and roll. What about that you think slowed them down on that dribble penetration?
Well, exactly what you said. I thought it did slow them down. We blitzed it, trapped it, and rotated. And for the most part, we did a pretty good job with that.
Is there a reason there wasn't the call to go with that on that final play where Anderson Joe got the foul on Royce?
Well, they didn't set a conventional on-ball screen. Sometimes you can't get there. We run a couple plays where it's really not it's an on-ball, but it's really like a moving screen.
Thanks, Coach.